Here's proof that time travel is real. Trust me, you'll be shocked to see what I discovered. For years, we've been entertained by movies like Back to the Future and countless science fiction stories about time travel. But have you ever wondered why this concept is so popular? It's simple, because time travel really exists. Today, I'm going to show you real photos and videos of people from the future. By the end, you'll learn perhaps the most incredible and mind-blowing story ever told about time travelers walking among us. Let's go. Number 14. The Time-Traveling Victorian. In 1917, a photograph was taken of workers at a factory in Cork, Ireland. Among the crowd of men in flat caps and work clothes stands a man who doesn't quite fit in. His haircut is modern, almost contemporary. His clothes, while not completely out of place, seem somewhat different in cut and style. Most notably, he's wearing what appears to be modern sunglasses, decades before they became commonplace. This mysterious figure has been dubbed the Time-Traveling Victorian, though technically the photo is from the Edwardian era. What makes this case interesting is that he doesn't stand out dramatically. He's not wearing jeans and a t-shirt or anything obviously anachronistic. It's more that he has the subtle, wrong look that you might expect from someone trying very hard to blend in but missing small details. Facial recognition experts have pointed out that his features and expression seem somehow different from those around him. While the workers show the weathered, hardened faces typical of early 20th century laborers, this man's face appears smoother, healthier, and more like someone from our time. Number 13. The Rudolph Fence Mystery. This isn't a photograph, but rather a story so strange it deserves inclusion. According to reports, on a summer evening in June 1950, a confused-looking man suddenly appeared in the middle of Times Square in New York City. Dressed in 19th-century clothing and sporting mutton chop whiskers, he seemed completely disoriented by his surroundings. Before anyone could speak to him, he was hit by a taxi and killed instantly. When police searched his body, they found items that made no sense. Currency from the 1870s, a letter dated 1876, business cards for a business on Fifth Avenue that hadn't existed for decades, and a copper token good for a beer at a saloon that no one remembered. His name, according to his identification, was Rudolph Fence. What made this case bizarre was that all the items were in mint condition, not aged as they should have been if they were 70-plus years old. The money wasn't collector's items. They were pristine bills that looked freshly printed. Police investigation led to an incredible discovery. A Rudolph Fence had indeed been reported missing in 1876, after going out for an evening walk and never returning home. The description matched the man killed in Times Square perfectly. Number 12. The 1920s Street Caller. Take a close look at this black and white photograph from the early 20th century. At first glance, it seems like a typical street scene from around 1920. People in vintage clothing, old-style architecture, and even an antique tram visible in the background. But something is seriously wrong with this picture. Focus on the man walking in the foreground. He's dressed appropriately for the era in a suit and hat, but what's that in his hand? The object he's holding and apparently speaking into bears an uncanny resemblance to a modern cell phone. The man's posture is exactly what we see every day on modern streets. Head slightly tilted down, hand raised to ear, completely absorbed in conversation while walking. Around him, people are going about their business normally, seemingly unaware that this person is engaging with technology that shouldn't exist for another 80-plus years. I have a question for you. First, I would like to say that it is possible to follow the greatest curiosities of our world every day. But to do so, you need to be subscribed to our channel. So, are you already subscribed? If not, take the opportunity to subscribe now. Also, take the opportunity to like the video, so YouTube will recommend more videos from our channel, so leave your like right now. And now that you have done that, let's go. Number 11. The Time-Traveling Beatles Fan. The Beatles' last public performance on the rooftop of Apple Records in 1969 was a landmark moment in music history. When reviewing footage from this famous concert, eagle-eyed fans spotted something strange in the crowd below. Among the typical late 60s fashions, bell-bottoms, long coats, and big hairstyles, stands a young man holding what appears to be a modern smartphone, filming the performance. The object in his hands has the unmistakable rectangular shape of today's devices, complete with what looks like a protective case. The man operates this device exactly as we do today, holding it up, adjusting the screen occasionally, and moving it to follow the action above. His behavior is completely inconsistent with how one would use any recording device available in 1969. Portable video cameras of that era were bulky, required shoulder support, and couldn't be operated with one hand. Even more strange is the man's clothing. While not wildly out of place, his jacket has a cut and style more consistent with fashion from the 2010s. His haircut is also notably modern, short on the sides with more length on top, a style that wouldn't become popular until decades later. Number 10. The Charlie Chaplin Phone Woman. Now, let's fast forward to 1928, still decades before mobile communication became reality. This footage comes from the premiere of Charlie Chaplin's film, The Circus. What should be ordinary footage of fans gathering outside the theater contains something that defies explanation. Among the crowd, a woman in a long coat and hat walks alone, holding what appears to be a small rectangular object to her ear. She's clearly talking, gesturing with her free hand the way people do during phone conversations. The resemblance to modern cell phone behavior is shocking. You can see her walking confidently, engaged in what seems like a conversation, despite having no visible conversation partner. Some skeptics suggest she might be holding an ear trumpet, an early hearing device, or perhaps just adjusting her hat. But watch carefully. Her posture, the way she holds the object, and her walking pattern are identical to someone deep in a mobile phone conversation. Number 9. The smartphone at Tyson's fight. The year was 1995, and boxing fans worldwide were glued to their TVs watching Mike Tyson face off against Peter McNeely in a highly anticipated match. Nothing unusual about that, right? Well, look closer at the footage from that fight, particularly at the spectators in the background. One man stands out from the crowd, and for a very strange reason, while everyone else is focused on the boxing ring. This mysterious spectator appears to be holding what looks exactly like a modern smartphone. He's clearly pointing it toward the ring, seemingly recording the fight as we would today. What makes this absolutely bizarre is that this happened in 1995, years before smartphones existed. Think about it. In the mid-90s, most phones were still attached to walls with cords. Cell phones were rare luxury items, and they were massive compared to today's devices. They certainly didn't have video recording capabilities or the sleek rectangular shape we see in this man's hands. Number 8. The Swiss watch of ancient China. Sometimes evidence of time travel isn't about people but the objects they leave behind. In 2008, archaeologists made a startling discovery when opening a 400-year-old Ming Dynasty tomb in Shaanxi County, China. Among the ancient artifacts was something impossible, what appeared to be a small modern Swiss watch. The timepiece, complete with the word Swiss engraved on it and showing a time of 10:06, was embedded in rock that had remained untouched for centuries. The watch was clearly manufactured in the modern era, yet it was found in a setting that had been sealed since the 1600s. Experts who examined the tomb confirmed that it showed no signs of being previously disturbed. The soil layers were intact, and there were no tunnels or access points that would allow someone to plant the object. By all scientific measures, the watch had been there for 400 years, long before such timepieces were invented. Number 7. The Ancient Greek laptop. Art historians were baffled when they took a closer look at an ancient Greek funeral sculpture dated around 100 BC. The marble relief, called the grave naiskos of an enthroned woman with an attendant, shows a scene that should be impossible, what appears to be a woman using a laptop computer. The carving clearly shows a seated woman looking at a thin, rectangular object held open at an angle identical to how we use laptops today. The object has distinct features that resemble a modern computer, including what looks like a series of ports along one side. The woman appears to be touching the keyboard area, while another figure stands behind her, seemingly waiting for her to finish her work. Conventional explanations suggest the object is merely a shallow chest, wax tablet, or jewelry box. However, the proportions and the way the woman interacts with it are strikingly similar to modern computer use. The supposed ports on the side have no clear purpose for any ancient container. Number 6. The Desert Time Portal Incident. In 2015, something bizarre happened in the desert outside Las Vegas that multiple witnesses have confirmed. A group of hikers reported seeing what they described as a ripple in the air about 6 feet tall. Through this distortion walked a confused man in clothing that appeared to be from the 1940s. The man, disoriented and speaking with an accent none of the hikers recognized, asked what year it was. When told it was 2015, he reportedly became extremely agitated. He pulled out identification documents showing he was Andrew Carlson, born in 1915. The papers were yellowed with age but appeared authentic. According to the hikers, Carlson claimed he had been walking through the same desert in 1945 when he encountered a strange light. He stepped through it out of curiosity and suddenly found himself face to face with the hiking group 70 years in the future. The hikers took photos of Carlson and his identification with their phones, which showed a young man in his 30s wearing a period-accurate suit and hat. Number 4. The Civil War Soldier's Wristwatch. History buffs were stunned when analyzing a famous photograph taken by legendary Civil War photographer Matthew Brady in 1862. The image shows Union soldiers relaxing between battles, and one soldier in particular has drawn immense attention. In the photo, a young soldier in the foreground has his sleeve slightly pulled back, revealing what appears to be a modern wristwatch. The timepiece has a distinctive round face and band that historians confirm doesn't match any timepieces from the Civil War era. Watches did exist in the 1860s, but they were exclusively pocket watches carried in vests, not wristwatches worn on the arm. Wristwatches wouldn't become common until after World War I, more than 50 years after this photo was taken. Photographic. Experts have examined the original glass plate negative and confirm it hasn't been tampered with. The watch appears in the original image captured by Brady's camera in 1862. What's equally puzzling is the soldier's relaxed, almost modern pose, quite different from the stiff, formal positions most Civil War subjects maintained during the long exposure times photography required then. Number 3. The ancient Egyptian electric light bulbs. Inside the Temple of Hathor at Dendera, Egypt, a fascinating and controversial carving has puzzled archaeologists for decades. Dating back to approximately 50 BCE, the stone relief appears to show ancient Egyptians using what look remarkably like modern electric light bulbs. The carvings show large, bulb-shaped objects with what appears to be filaments inside them. They're connected to what resembles a power source by cables that look like snakes. Most strikingly, the bulbs are being held by temple priests in a way that suggests they're providing illumination. Conventional archaeology has struggled to explain these carvings. Some suggest they represent lotus flowers or religious symbols, but this doesn't account for the filament-like structures inside the bulbs or the cable-like connections. What makes this case particularly compelling is that no soot has been found on the ceilings of many deep Egyptian tombs and temples, despite the conventional understanding that Egyptians used torches and oil lamps for illumination. Number 2. The reopened cold case of John Titor. While not photographic evidence, no discussion of potential time travelers would be complete without mentioning John Titor. In late 2000, someone using this name began posting on online forums. Claiming to be a time traveler from 2036, Titor provided detailed information about his time machine, installed in a modified 1967 Chevrolet, along with complex physics explanations about how time travel worked. He shared photos of his supposed time displacement equipment and made numerous predictions about coming events. What makes the Titor case remarkable is the technical accuracy of his scientific discussions. Physics experts have confirmed that his explanations of general relativity and quantum mechanics were surprisingly sophisticated for public internet forums of that era, especially his descriptions of world line theory and divergence. Titor claimed he had been sent back to 1975 to retrieve an IBM 5100 computer needed to debug legacy computer systems in 2036. He said he was stopping in 2000 for personal reasons before returning to his time. After posting for about 4 months, he abruptly disappeared from the internet in March 2001. Number 1. The Phantom Time Traveler of 9/11. When reviewing footage of the September 11, 2001 attacks, researchers noticed something strange in several Different videos captured by witnesses. A figure appears on multiple rooftops throughout the morning, always wearing what looks like a black helmet or mask and some type of fitted bodysuit. What makes this mysterious figure particularly odd is that they appear in videos taken from different vantage points around Manhattan, sometimes just minutes apart, locations that would be physically impossible to travel between in the time frames involved, especially given the chaos of that day. In one clip, this figure stands on a rooftop near the World Trade Center, appearing to film or photograph the events with an unidentifiable device. Moments later, the same distinctively dressed person appears in footage taken from more than 20 blocks away, still observing and seemingly recording. Video analysis experts have confirmed these appearances aren't video artifacts or tricks of light. The figure moves purposefully, reacts to events, and clearly has physical presence in the scenes. Are you seeing this video that is appearing on the screen? Click on it because I have set it aside especially for you to watch. If you liked this video, I'm sure you'll like our recommendation. Well, that's it, and until next time, Curious One.